10 years, I feel like if I were to describe it, I was living a bit in a fog. I was living very much in my mind. I was thinking about the next thing I had to do before I was even finished with the thing I was doing. And so even though I was physically at the park with my children,
Vicky Schettini here, and I'm really excited to present to you Cari Briner. She is the president of coaching Adam Hergenrother. Cari, thank you for coming on the show. So tell us a little bit about your background, and then we'll get into what you're doing now.
So in a nutshell, I have been in the real estate industry since I graduated from college. So it's been almost 20 years now. I raised my 2 boys while selling real estate. So very grateful for the career, grateful for the industry. Have always been super passionate about being my own business owner, kind of controlling my own destiny from that degree, not having a lid being put on me. That was always what appealed to me about being an entrepreneur and a business owner. And so I really had a great run at selling real estate for about 10 years here in Minneapolis. I then had an opportunity to move into a leadership role at a brokerage, also in the Minneapolis area, and really worked with a lot of amazing real estate professionals, help them build their businesses, build their teams, hire staff members, recruit agents, and really have a leveraged business, which was something I did not have when I sold. And I became super passionate about helping people figure out how can they have a leveraged business, meaning they're not working all the time 24/7, like I found myself many times, and really finding that leverage. So that was something that was exciting to me. During that time, I actually had a tremendous amount of personal growth being coached by Adam, while I was also then coaching others to the same kind of personal growth, using business as the conduit to growing yourself. Because what we were finding is, especially in the entrepreneurial fields, in real estate and so forth, but really in life in general, there's a lot of people that are very successful in business that are not super happy in life in general. They haven't been able to go through the personal growth that they've needed to feel fulfilled. So they're doing all this stuff, but for what? And or they're working so much to then at the end of their life go and enjoy what they worked so hard for, but so many of them never actually did. So it's kind of the difference between, while you're working and building a business, how can you also improve and work on yourself? And when you do that, you're happier. And quite frankly, I think most of the time your business is better. But it's a mindset shift. It's one I was completely unaware of. So as I went through that, I was excited. And then I started doing coaching with Adam's coaching company. And so our goal now is just to bring this kind of business coaching along with the personal coaching so that people can start to do this for themselves, which I'm super excited and passionate about doing, because my life has been, quite frankly, very positively changed because of it.
What would be something that you can tell us that are going through it? Because we do feel that we do have to make sure that we don't drop the ball, the follow-up, because it does affect our business, and our kids have to eat. We have to have a roof over our heads. What is something we can implement today?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is that we have to realize, yes, we have to work. And I think it's particularly hard sometimes for moms because we're trying to do it all. And that's just who we are as human beings. And so we don't give ourselves enough grace, first of all. We always are trying to be everything to everyone. When I sold for 10 years, I was there for my children, meaning I was there and I was making sure that they were fed. And if I wasn't with them, I made sure somebody that could take good care of them was. I was able to not have them in full-time daycare, which for whatever reason in my mind, it made me feel better because I had a grandparent, or I was home in the morning. I worked afternoons and evenings, and then they switched and they were with their dad. And so I kind of in my mind told myself the story that that was all good. What I would tell you though is when you, and this, all of you watching, when you own your own business, and maybe you have the financial pressures and you just have life going on, you're not actually, even though you're physically there, are you actually really there with your children? Like I remember for 10 years, I feel like if I were to describe it, I was living a bit in a fog. I was living very much in my mind. I was thinking about the next thing I had to do before I was even finished with the thing I was doing. And so even though I was physically at the park with my children, I was like on my phone on a phone call, or I wasn't taking time to actually time block and take time, even if it was just for 20 minutes, to actually have what I would call like soul time with my child, where it was just uninterrupted, I'm here with you time. And what I didn't understand at that time was that that 20 minutes could be more impactful or powerful than 4 hours of me not being present, but just being there. And so that's the one thing I would say to everybody watching, which is you're going to have a lot going on. You're going to have to be in a lot of different places. But what we have to understand is that we have to get clear on who and what is the most important. Not everything matters equally in life. When we can have more clarity around who and what are the most important, the decisions that we make in terms of our time should be quite easy. I say that meaning it should be, but most people, we don't live like that, including myself for 10 years. So what I would say is, for me, what changed is I realized, number one, I had to love and lead myself first. Because if I wasn't, I couldn't really be the best mom. I couldn't be the best realtor. I couldn't be the best business owner or the best for my clients. And I was finding that by being all over the place, not taking 1 minute for myself, not really being ever appreciative or present in the moment, which was what your mom, Vicky, said to you, which is to stop for a minute and smell the flowers. That's what she meant, which is just slow down for a minute and just be present and just be in the moment. And what I found is that I actually could do all the things I needed to do and get more out of those experiences if I was willing to just make them a priority, and maybe it was a shorter period of time, but just go all in and do that thing. So for an example, for me, the number one domino was I had to give myself some time to release stress, to get more focused. And that was exercise for me. For many years, I was not overweight because I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off, but I didn't actually exercise. I wouldn't say I was tremendously healthy because I didn't take the time for myself ever. Right?
I really like the checking of the boxes. I never thought of it that way, but yes, make sure that those are things that you incorporate in your day. You check your box. I don't do that on a daily basis.
You can retrain yourself. I was trained to just get up and start working the second I woke up, and to feel like I was in a hamster wheel, just chasing my clients and then just pretending like I was with my kids at the park while I was negotiating a contract. And I really think about it now. The question is like, but what was I doing that for? Like, that's what I don't even know. I really think that is because, yes, I needed to make money, but it was just this thing that as a natural achiever, which many people probably listening to this podcast, we're high achievers. We want to be successful. We don't want to let a client down. And to your point, if you're a realtor and you're consistently getting one transaction a month, it's hard to just maintain one. If you're going to build your pipeline, it's going to snowball. So what do you do? Say no to some and say, if you're a high achiever, you're just not going to do that. And so the reality is that I feel like if we just slow down for a minute, we go, like, what is it that we're really doing the business for? What really is the point and the purpose of business? For me, at a period of time, my business was a place that I went to hide from the things that I wasn't that happy about in the rest of my life. And it also was the place that made me feel successful and somewhat happy. And I had money, and then I would go buy some material things, and that would make me feel even better. But at the end of the day, after about 10 years of that, what I really realized was none of that actually really made me happy. It actually made me feel more empty. And now 10 years had gone by, and I don't even know what I did with my life. And so that was the defining moment for me.
It's really, really hard because, first of all, you need to fix the root of the problem, because if that constantly keeps going, it doesn't matter how many hours in the day you need, because you're still going to be doing that. So
yes,
even like you said, 30 minutes, just act like you're with another client, but really that is your time. It's really important. Thank you so much for coming on the show, because I love this topic, and I like to touch up on things that we all go through it, but we don't talk about it. So this is a hard one sometimes. Again, thank you. You've been amazing, and would love to speak with you some more later on.
Absolutely. We will do that. Thanks so much, Vicky. I appreciate it. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.